Okay. Okay. Is this thing on? Is anyone out there? Hi, everybody. It's your buddy. I'm your friend, Uncle Bruce. I might be the only friend you've got. You might be looking around going, none of these market gurus that I'm following can help me understand what is happening, especially the fact that the market has completely, done a major reversal again, even after Nvidia came out with such wonderful, wonderful results. We had 1,000 point drop on the Nasdaq right after after a couple hours of opening yesterday. What did I do wrong? Why are these gurus out there, these so-called financial experts, and all of these I don't know what to call them, all of these puppets, I suppose, who follow the direction of a certain higher authority, they just keep touting the company line. All is well. All is well. I saw a movie like that once where the people did not think all was well. And this one guy who was going, all is well, he got trampled. It was at the end of the movie. And thankfully for him, it was one of his first ever movies, and he went on to become a good actor with lots of good roles. So thank God that worked out. But what about you guys, all of you folks out there who follow me and are asking yourselves, Bruce, what the hell am I supposed to do in this market? Who do I believe and why? I can only tell you, and I will try to tell you, there's one thing you can believe. One thing. There's always just one thing. Matter of fact, here's the guy right here who perfected it. Just one thing that you can count on. Cash is king. Where's the money? Show me the money, man. Show me a cash position, and I'll believe that, because you can't fool me with $4,000+ gold. You can't fool me with record prices for silver. Okay. You can't fool me with record prices for any cryptocurrency, period. You can't fool me with that stuff. Again, you have to be able to buy in to the notion that only cash is the answer. And who's got cash? Well, I know a guy who, the last I heard, was sitting on $330 billion of cash. The Oracle of Omaha, Mr. Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. They're sitting on $350 billion of cash. And you think about it, from about 2 weeks ago to today, that cash can buy a lot more stuff than it could back then. And we're only talking a couple of weeks. What if this market is going to take a meandering course now over the next 6 months, which it could? And why? Well, it's November the 21st right now, Friday, November the 21st. Do some math in your noggin here, okay? 9 more days, the month is over. That's November 30. 31 days after that, total of 40 days, the year is done. All right? You're an investor. You are a successful investor inside an ETF, a hedge fund, a trading account. Think about the capital gains that have been racked up by a lot of people in the last year. Those who bought at the lows went back in April when the market hit those lows with the East Lawn presentation of that beautiful tariff chart. The market took the multiple $trillion crap and slowly recovered from that. How much money was made by those in the know? How much money was made by those who drank the Kool-Aid over there to say to themselves, it's Taco Boy, he's just going to change his mind. It's not going to be that bad. And so I'll pick up bargains here and there and I'll be fine. Well, all of those followers, in theory, were doing real well about 2 weeks ago. The problem with a bunch of the followers who are also following the followers, let's say you've got your disciples who have cash and did well. Then you've got the followers of the disciples who are margin account investors because they don't have millions and billions to play with, but they want to be a millionaire and a billionaire. They want to be rich. So they're leveraging themselves to the max because everything is working out. When everything goes up, you feel more confident and you start to get a little more aggressive with your investments. And you begin to kind of, borrow money from your broker to do more trades because you begin to think to yourself, you're a god. You're infallible. You're following the leader of all leaders. And, money is money. Remember, cash is king. And there were many, 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 many followers of the disciples of the leader who were looking at their accounts in September and October and early November, saying to themselves, I've never been this rich before. I've never been this wealthy in my entire adult life. I've never had this much equity in my account, because it's the equity number that tells you what you're worth. You can look at the total value of your account, but in reality, you got to take off what you owe the broker or your banker, or did you borrow on your credit card line of credit? Did you take a second mortgage on your house? Did you borrow money from friends? I mean, you got to come down to the brass tacks, back to what I'm telling you about, cash, back to cash. Where really are you? Back in early November, there were a number of people who were saying, I'm looking pretty good, Uncle Bruce. I really am. I'm looking really good right now. And man, I love this. I love this game. Now, were all of those people like you on this channel option writers? No. Am I describing my viewers? Not really. Somewhat, a little here and a little there. There's a little familiarity with you for some of you out there. Some of you have been aggressive option writers. And I have told all of you from day one, you can be an aggressive option writer. You can be. But you can also be a very conservative option writer, looking at the long-term picture and saying, I'm happy taking my 5% here and my 6% there and my 3% here. And I got lucky last month that I had a trade where I brought in a 20% premium on a credit spread. And in a week, I closed it out and I netted out 3/4 of that trade as a profit. But you've reminded yourself, this is an anomaly. This isn't normal. It doesn't happen every trade. And that's not my trading philosophy. My trading philosophy is, Uncle Bruce, I don't want to depend on any outside entity to make a living anymore. I want to be self-reliant on my own capital to control my life in every aspect. So I don't want to be margined to the hilt with my broker. I don't want to have debts and loans all over the place and run some kind of a portfolio to sort of, cover all those loan payments. I want a scenario where if I generate 3, 5, 8, 12, 20% in a month, beyond unbelievably fantastic, I only need 3% a month return and I can live off of it. I got 200 grand in the market, Bruce. I make 3% a month on $200,000. That's $6,000 a month. I know I can live on that. I can't live on that if I'm going to travel first class around the world and stay at 5-star hotels. No. But when you did your mathematics way back when you first looked into option writing and you found this guy on this channel and you were in a Reddit group, you were in a Discord group, you somehow got referred to me out of the blue, and you started listening to this plain English-speaking old man, you kind of went, gosh darn to heck there, I would rather not have $200,000 worth of perfume in my garage, or 200 grand worth of Tupperware in my garage, or 200 grand worth of wigs, or 200 grand worth of cleaning supplies, or any. I don't want to take my seed money and own some sort of asset and now try to sell that to friends and relatives at house parties to make a go of it. You had been grappling with this problem for a while. You were working, you were saving money on the side, you were trying to build a retirement, you paid your mortgage down over the years and the years and the years. Your home went up in value. Thank God. There's equity there. Thank goodness. You had 401k money, all that good stuff. And you tallied it all up and thought, I could theoretically make arrangements of my assets, and I could control all of my assets. And that would be about $200,000. And if this guy on this YouTube channel can help me make 3% a month as a base to sort of get into this, that is $6,000 a month in base income. If he can help me make 8% a month, oh my God, that's $16,000. I've never made $16,000 every month in my life. I've never made that. That's over $200,000 a year. I've never made $200,000 a year. There are folks here who have made money in the last 2-3 years writing options where they cannot believe the rate of return. Now, for some folks here, they have made phenomenal percentage returns on their money. Phenomenal. Problem is, they started with $20,000. They're now worth $50,000. If they started with 15 grand and they've turned it into 45,000. There's some here who've turned 30,000 into 100,000. They've done really, really, really well. They couldn't have been here more than 4 years. I've only been on the air since January 21. So you have to say to yourself, well, Uncle Bruce, if I've taken 30 grand and turned it into 100,000 in 3 years, wouldn't it stand to reason that I could take 100,000 and turn it into 300,000 in the next 3 years? And at that point, 3 years after that, could I take 300 and turn it into 900? And in that move, 300, 100 to 300, 300 to 900, there has to be a point in time where I can walk away from my job, or I can keep staying away from my job because I'm now working part-time on the side and I've got this cash flow coming in that I'm building up over here. I'm never going back to work for anyone else ever again. There's a lot of my viewers in that boat, but I do have viewers who did have $300,000-$400,000 when they found me, but they used to have $1 million. They had $1 million and it went down to 300. And by the time they found me, I don't know how, but they found me. They went, Uncle Bruce, I've tried everything under the sun and I've lost $700,000 of my wealth. My wife looks at me like I'm a lunatic. My relatives snicker behind my back. My coworkers are going, that guy is just a dreamer. If he just kept his head down and took the daily abuse from the management of this corporation, the guy would still have, some dough to his name. And yet, you didn't give up because you said, no, there's a way through here and there's a way for me to win. And you did find me several years ago. And you did take my courses as I brought them out. You started taking my lessons to learn how the option market works rather than take a quick 5-minute tutorial on Robinhood or on Schwab or any of these apps that you've downloaded, all of these so-called brokerage firms who are encouraging you to trade options and giving you all of these little video tutorials that last all of 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes each. And that's supposed to set you up for the rest of your life. And you started watching me, and I'm telling you, don't do that. Take your time, because I'm trying to help you actually change your entire life path going forward, rather than, I'm just going to show you how to make a trade and you're going to make a couple of bucks and all your problems are solved, because your problems aren't solved with a couple of good trades. You're down $700,000. You need a strategy and a disciplined strategy to systematically build your account value back. And lo and behold, some of you actually listen to me. Not many, because the percentages of people who listen to me is low. For every 1,000 people that come through here, maybe 10 take me up on trying a lesson or 2 or 3, opening a practice account to try trading there, trying to use 5 or 10 grand on the side with some option trades while their 99% of their portfolio is still over here. That's what most people do. Over time, they win. They stick with it. If you stick with it long enough, they're going to learn a lot more about the market than they ever learned before. The revelations that come to them every day, every week, just are mind-blowing. They look me up for a one-on-one session, a private one-on-one, and they say, Uncle Bruce, I cannot believe what I've learned in 3 months watching you and listening to you. taking your classes. I just cannot believe how much I know. And I have verified everything you've said on the live shows, everything you said on your recordings, everything you've done in your classes. I go to Google, I go to ChatGPT, I go to the Chicago Mercantile Board of Trade website, I go to all kinds of websites to look up information about being an option writer. And every damn time they verify what you're saying, except that it's kind of hard to understand how they say it compared to how you say it. You explain it in plain English, and it's unbelievable. Well, at the end of the day, kids, every school teacher you had, every parent or uncle or grandparent or relative you've had, someone like a dear friend, a trusted, lifelong friend that you know will never steer you wrong because they are like you. They're desperate to succeed, and they see you winning, they will follow what you do. If you see them winning, you'll follow what they do. These people all have said to you in one form or another, the more you put into something, the more you get out of it. Now, whether it's piano lessons, accordion lessons, guitar lessons, drum lessons, dance lessons, how to fly a kite, how to do astronomy, how to play with your chemical kit, mixing stuff and make volcanoes bubble up. The more you put into it, the more you get out. The best athletes in your high school during your teen years were the ones who were working the hardest after school. They practiced. It's all they wanted to do. They just wanted to be a basketball player. They didn't care about being a football player. They didn't care about learning how to dance or getting a job somewhere. They wanted to be a basketball player. And so they became good basketball players because they put in the time. Here you are putting in the time to learn how to be an option writer. And it just can't help. You can't help it. The more time you put into this business, the smarter you're going to get. And on a percentage basis, out of the 100 million people out there who buy and sell options all the time around the world, I'm trying to get you into the top 10% of knowledge. I want you to become a 90%er so that you can sit back and go, oh, wait a minute, geez, NVIDIA had a interesting month this month, didn't it? Wow. But you're looking at NVIDIA from a different angle. You're not looking at NVIDIA as a company that's going to make it someday or how much money they're going to make. You're not looking at NVIDIA like that at all. As an option writer, you're looking at NVIDIA as an instrument to use to make a calculated wager that you're going to offer gamblers. It's like being at the track and you own the horses. You are the racetrack. And you're just letting the participants come into your park and bet on whatever horse they want to bet on. And you're putting the odds on the horses, one of which happens to be called NVIDIA. And you're putting odds on the NVIDIA stock through an option trading strategy that says, hey, gambler, if you buy from me a put credit spread on NVIDIA, like Bruce said yesterday morning, were you here yesterday? 220, 230 put credit spreads. I know some of you did those. You told me you did. The stock had never been to 220 before, ever in its history. The high of NVIDIA was, 212 something? That's as good as NVIDIA got all time prior to back in November, late October, right? Not lying. I'm not making this up. This is real. These aren't alternative facts. The stock hit a high of $212.19. Yesterday morning, we were sitting around this 185.95 range. We hit a high yesterday at 196. That was the high yesterday. And this was the performance of NVIDIA for the rest of the day. Went from the high opening yesterday morning and look at all day, and it stayed down last night. Right now, it's 181.49. It's up 89 or 85 cents. It's not going anywhere at this point. Any of you out there who wrote put credit spreads yesterday, where you wrote a 220 put and bought a 230 put. Sorry, a call credit spread. I'm sorry. I'm still suffering from a cold. Call credit spread. You wrote a call credit spread at 220. You bought a call for 230. The $10 differential in price cost $1,000 to do. You needed $1,000 in equity to write it. Some of you did 2, 5, 10, more. Some of you were getting 30% premium on that. You were getting $300 for every $1,000 you were putting up to do this trade yesterday morning. First thing in the first 15, 20 minutes of the day. By the end of the day, it looks to me like those contracts backed off in price. And the credit of $3 a contract has shrunk dramatically. And the likelihood of these contracts ever being in the money look a lot more grim now than they did when you wrote them in the first place. Stock was 190.95 and you wrote 220.30s. And now the stock's 180.81. I mean, hey, $50 out of the money. Hello, is anybody home? 40 to 50 out of the money. Some of these contracts you wrote die today. Some of them you wrote die next Friday. Some of you wrote contracts that die in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now. All of them have backed off. And so you're sitting back going, well, what do I do now, Bruce? Do I take my profit and run? Do I sit here and allow shrinkage to keep happening on these contracts? Because every day that goes by, my contracts only have 10 trading days left or 12 trading, whatever the number is. Every day of the market, Monday to Friday, is another big chunk of time that these contracts lose. And their values are going to keep shrinking. If the stock sits at 180.90 for the next week, these 220.30 calls are going to collapse. Yeah, of course they are. They're way out of the bloody money. Many of you out there are sitting back going, Uncle Bruce, I'm thrilled about this trade. I made this trade. I followed your video yesterday. I wrote this contract. I wrote these spreads. But you know what, Bruce? No matter how much money I make on this trade, the $3 I brought in, the 30% return, if I walk out with 20% return, 15%, 25%, whatever that number is, when I shut this trade down, or I let them die worthless if that's what they're going to do, at the end of the day, Bruce, I can't retire on this trade. Because when I wrote these 5 contracts, I put up $5,000. I collected $1,500 in this hand. I put up $5,000. It's in my account, and I added $1,500 to my account. I'm sitting on $6,500 cash. If I buy these contracts back for $500 cost, if I buy this thing back, I keep $6,000 of the $6,500, which means my $5,000 is here, and I made $1,000 on it. 20% return in a short period of time. We're all happy, but you're not done yet. You can't stop now. You didn't score a lottery win. There's no lottery win here when you write options. That's the thing that my viewers have figured out. When you're an option writer, you're actually a conservative casino. You're a casino that offers odds, long odds, to desperate gamblers that are hoping to make a quick buck. When you wrote the $220 call and you bought the $230 call, you were not dealing with the same person on the other side of the trade. One person bought your 220 contract, another person sold you a 230 contract. And you don't know who they are, and they don't know who you are, and they don't care who you are, and you will not care who they are. And when you undo this trade, when you buy back the 220 and sell off the 230, you will deal with 2 other people, most likely, that were not involved in the original trade you did. That's the way this business works. It's like looking at old film from 1920, 25, and 30 of the New York Stock Exchange and seeing all these guys, holding up their hands and papers, and wearing those straw hats, yelling and screaming and trading. They're trading between all kinds of hundreds of different floor traders who are representing dozens and dozens of brokerage firms who are representing millions of customers, and they don't know who just bought my AT&T stock or who I just sold U.S. Steel to. They don't care. They don't have to know. They need to know, what price did I get? What price did I pay? And what price did I get when I got out? In the option business, there are people here who brought in 30% on their money yesterday, writing a credit spread, a call credit spread on NVIDIA. yesterday morning. And at this moment in time, a percentage of these people, I don't know how many it was, 7, 20, 50, I don't know how many did this. I can't track that. But my hunch is that a certain percentage of those folks bought back their trade before the end of the day last night. They were looking yesterday afternoon at this market going, oh my God, this NVIDIA is falling out of bed. I can close this trade right now and take $1.50 off the table. Of that $300 I got per position that I created, I only have to pay $150 to shut it down. I did 10 of them. So I brought in $3,000. I give $1,500 back. I keep $1,500 for today and go, thank you, Jesus. I made $1,500 US today. I'm a god. Well, you might think that for a nanosecond, but then reality sets in because you have been taking my lessons and you do realize I can't retire on this win. It's nice. Oh, God, is it nice. But I have to do another trade now. I have to shop for my next trade. But the good news is, as an option writer, you don't have to do another trade immediately. You don't have to do a trade 5 minutes after you finish that trade. You can play a little game called, I'm going to fold my arms and wait overnight. I'm going to see what the fallout is about this stock market that crapped itself yesterday. I want to hear those so-called experts now. I want to hear the disciples talk about their glorious golden leader and all the greatness that is going to come our way. And then I want to see how their followers react to the disciples. I'm doing this. I'm not even going to write any kind of a contract for several hours today. After all, it's Friday. Why would I do an option trade Friday morning where I might have to hold it through Saturday and Sunday and Monday next week before I can rearrange this trade? Maybe I'll sit back until Monday. Because after all, I made $1,500 yesterday. Thank you very much, Uncle Bruce. You didn't make me retire, but I'm going to get through the weekend now. I can certainly feed myself. This is a new perspective for investors that no one else teaches you. You don't see this from Robinhood or Schwab or Fidelity or what is it, Webull or name any of the brokerage firms out there that are begging you to trade, offering you all kinds of opportunities to bet the market, including the new sensation, prop bets. The bookies make the money. The saps beat each other up and get nothing. And that's what happens at the racetrack. Very few people leave the racetrack at the end of a session able to afford a brand new limo and take a lovely ride home. There are usually a lot of people walking home from the racetrack having discarded their racing forms on the ground. They're so pissed off they wouldn't even put them in the garbage can. They're leaving them on the ground and they're walking out until tomorrow, and they're going to come back and try it again. You, as an option writer, have the luxury of deciding when to write options and under what terms and conditions you're going to write them, how long they're going to last, how far out of the money these contracts have, the kind of premium you're prepared to take, and you're going to just systematically put your money to work when the vibe is right to you. Where did you learn all this stuff? Where is this all coming from? It's coming from experience. Well, how did you get the experience? You probably started watching me, and then you took some of these lessons here. And at this point in time, some of you have decided, Uncle Bruce, you're right. I've been watching you now for several months now. I've been watching for a year off and on. It's time for me to get off my fat lard ass and learn the ins and outs of the options market. Now, you can, anytime you want, go to my website, stockmarkerswiththebruce.ca. There it is. And you can order a class anytime you want, any of the 19. You don't have to start at class number 1 if you don't want to. If you believe you are an advanced student and you think you can start at class number 5 instead of number 1, well, knock yourself out. But I will tell you this. There are viewers on my channel who followed me now for several years who said to me, you know what, I started with class number 1. And I only found you like 2 years ago, and you'd already done 12 classes by then. There was already 12 out there. I didn't start with class 12. I went to class number 1. And I found out that when I was watching number 2 and number 3, you were adding knowledge on top of these classes. I figured out very quickly, like you keep telling us, this is like a college course. You have to go to school every week to learn what's coming next. Now, you can take a college course, call it My Lessons, and do 19 days. Watch a lesson every day for 19 days in a row. If you're capable of that, you're that motivated. Great. On the other hand, you could say, hey, I'm going to watch a class a week. I'm going to watch every Saturday. I got a 2-3 hour window every Saturday where people leave me alone. I'm going to take that time to watch my weekly class, just like I like watching my weekly show of Landmen or whatever else I watch on TV. This is my weekly fix with Uncle B. I'm going to watch class number 1, and then number 2, and number 3, and number 4. And I'm going to tune out the fact that a whole bunch of his viewers keep commenting over here about how much money they're making, the trade they did, and how they're doing on these. I'm going to later. I'm not there yet. I'm going to take his classes. I'm going to open a practice account. He keeps preaching this. Open a free trading account with any of the firms out there and practice trade option writing. You will make no money and you will pay no money. That's the bottom line. Go after it. Learn this game for a while. Then take it from there. After the 5th lesson, 8th lesson, 15th lesson, I don't know how long. Sooner or later, you're going to go, I'm going to try and write some options here. I want to write some cash secured puts. That lesson I watched last week was really motivating. I watched it again on Monday. I forgot about Monday Night Football. I watched that class a second time, and oh man, I couldn't wait for Tuesday morning. Knock yourself up. Whatever works for you will work for you. That's the end of the day. Thank you again for all of you who send me messages, who order these classes. You ask me questions about these classes. You then look to have a one-on-one session with me, the professor. You want to have a one-on-one discussion after you've watched 5, 7, 10, 12, all 19 classes. You decide, I've done some trading, but now I want to talk to him about my account, my wife and I, my family and I, my parents, my grandparents. I am the eldest. I am the responsible one, and I'm supposed to handle all this crap. Or I got the phone call at 3 a.m. 3 months ago that told me in no uncertain terms that I now am leading the family. And I didn't want it. I didn't want any of it. And now I'm supposed to dictate what's going to happen with the finances of my parents or grandparents. It's substantial, and I am terrified of losing this money. I'm going to talk to Bruce one-on-one. And I'm telling him, here's my situation, man. I am in a nightmare for me. What do we do? I have good news for even you folks. One session and 15 minutes will not solve all your problems, but we'll help analyze it together, and we'll put a plan together. We'll get you on a plan. And it's step by step by step. It's like building a brick wall. You can't put the last brick on the damn wall unless you put the first row down at the bottom, and the second row, and the third row, and so on. This is the name of the game. You've got to buy into the non-8-second attention span strategy. If you're looking for an 8-second attention span win from me, you are an idiot. You know you're an idiot because there is no 8-second win strategy on how to become an option writer. Doesn't work. It doesn't work to be an 8-second attention span taker of real estate courses. It doesn't work for accounting. It doesn't work for how to drive. It doesn't work at all. You have to put time in and make it pay. It might hurt a bit to slowly learn something from scratch. But once you learn step 1, 2, 3, and 4, step 5 is a lot easier to figure out. And the art of learning becomes easier, which is something a lot of you have forgotten. The how to learn stuff, because you're all know-it-alls now. Everyone tells you are. Your parents tell you how great you are. Your friends tell you how great, your coworkers, all your customers love you. You're fantastic. You can't make a single mistake. I do know some of the most successful people over decades now in my life who deep down inside are terrified of their success because they're worried about blowing it. And the key here is to just take it one day at a time, one trade at a time, one lesson at a time, a one-on-one strategy here, a one-on-one strategy 6 months later, whatever it takes, at your speed, and we'll move forward. Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't noticed, I'm still suffering from a terrible cold. We're down $3 on NVIDIA so far this morning, it would appear. We're up 220 on the Dow. We're up 50 on NASDAQ, but we are underwater in some issues here and there. SoFi's up 3 cents. GameStop's up 34 cents to 2026. Fair enough. You all know what's coming on GameStop. You all know. If you're into GameStop at all, you're aware that in about the first 10 days of December, GameStop will reveal their third quarter financials. That's coming. No question about it. The third quarter ended at the end of October. All right. It's the second best quarter of the year. The best quarter of the year for GameStop is the one we're in right now, Christmas. So we're not going to get the Christmas numbers out of SoFi until early February. However, between now and February, we are in a situation where we may be looking at the results of their financials for the third quarter with upbeat earnings projections coming in from all kinds of sources, not GameStop. And the shares may well be at 23 to 25 a share or 26 or 27 a share. Again, not record highs, not the greatest performance of all time, but not at 1998 or not at 2020 or anything like that. You want to take advantage of a move on GameStop conservatively, then write $20 cash secured puts. You can write them for January 2026 if you want to go short term, or you can write them all the way out to January 27 and bring in a nice premium, probably more than 20% on the capital you need to do that trade. You're offering to buy the stock at $20, and I bet you can get yourself more than $4 a share for that deal. Offering to buy stock at 20, they'll pay you more than 4 to do it. 20% on your money. That's a conservative trade. For some of you, it's just too damn boring, Bruce. You're just not giving me enough action, man. I'm a video gamer, Bruce, and I need 8-second attention span hits. I'm addicted to action. Hey, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's just the way the world is. But if you're going to be the long-term winner, which is what Warren Buffett has been, which is what, look at all the top names in Wall Street. What do you notice about most of these guys? They're older than you. They've got white hair or no hair. They have all kinds of assistants, and they do the same thing all the time. They are patient money managers, and they use the clock to win. Simple. Now, I'm telling you, you can use the clock to win on any of these trades if you so desire to do so. And that's by being an option writer. Let these options shrink in value, and you win on a lovely return on your money. You can't get these kinds of interest rates from your banker at the bank. Not a chance. 2027 on GameStop. 24.88 on SoFi, down 2 cents. The Dow is up 240. NASDAQ's up 64 points. It's early. AI up 18. Rocket Lab up about $1. Palantir down 18 cents. ASTS up 193. Microsoft down 49 cents. Apple up 196. NVIDIA up 351. Google up 976. Tesla's up 396. Amazon down 73. And Facebook, Meta, up 440. There you go. Are you having fun yet, kids? Thank you for joining me from wherever in the world you are. Please hit the thumbs up button to help this channel gain some YouTube traction, because YouTube is not promoting us. We're all by ourselves out here. Thank you for those of you helping me out with that. It's free to give us a thumbs up if you can figure out how to do it. And also, thank you for answering my poll questions. I got a poll question out today on one of my channels. 85 of you have answered this question, which is, I am writing stock options, and my best winning trades are writing covered calls, writing poor man covered calls, writing cash secured puts. or write, put, and or call credit spreads. And some of you are going very heavily into cash secured puts. Writing covered calls is the number 2 answer. Put credit spreads, put and call credit spreads, number 3. Poor man covered calls, number 4. On my other channel, because I've got 2 formats going right now, 39 votes are in. 31% of you say I am making most of my money writing covered calls. 59% say I'm making most of my money, Bruce, from cash secured puts. 59%. Only 10% of you say writing put or call credit spreads, and no one is saying poor man calls. Interesting difference between the 2 broadcasts that are up and running at this moment in time. Thank you again, everyone, for being here, joining me. Thank you, Jennifer. I got your donation came in through PayPal. A notification came through here. Send me an email. Tell me the classes you'd like to have, and I'll get them sent out to you. If you're interested in grabbing these classes on the Black Friday deal that you see going by the bottom of the screen right now, you need to do 2 things. Decide in your mind which classes you'd like. Multiply how many classes you wish by $150. Then go to paypal.com. The directions are just down below here. Paypal.com, Bruce Frommert, Traveling with Bruce. And make the donation there for the number of classes you want. And then send me an email at brucefrommert@hotmail.com. And say to me there, Uncle Bruce, I've sent you X amount of money representing 3 classes. These are the classes I'd like you to send me, please. Class number this, class number that, class number that. Then I will, after this broadcast is over, I will get my act together and I will send you the classes you need so that you can start watching them whenever you like. And probably this weekend, you can take some time and review your classes. If you have a child, a friend, relative somewhere that you want to gift a class to, you can do that through me as well. You may have talked to them about me. You may have indicated to them what you're doing already for the last year or so, and they've been showing interest, but they haven't taken the big step forward yet. I'll send them whatever class number you want me to send them. Make a donation to the PayPal link and tell me who's getting the class, what's the number, and I will then send it along. Get them started on number 1 and number 2, whatever it is. And let's go from there. Okay, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Miles and Tom Kaufman. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer, thank you. The man is here. What else is going on here? Roden is here. Bobby Atkinson, good morning. Richard is here. Richard Carlin, Flint Creek Soap, good morning, everybody. Welcome all. Love Boat Captain is here. Who else is here? Looking at familiar names. You can all read these comments yourself. Bagel Babe, Mandu number 5, JD, CD is here. Mentats is in the house. Harry is here. How you doing, buddy? And thank you. Who else have we got here? Lazy Toaster is here. Good day. JJ Neptune. Thank you for joining us today. Cindy is in the house. Jen is in the house. Jen Doe. Thank you. I've bought classes 1 and 2, she says. Here's a comment. I want to buy more, but I'm thinking I want 7 or 8 next. Do you think it's imperative I buy them in order, or will it be okay if I skip around? Well, you can do whatever you want. There's no comment from me on this. I will say this. I have had viewers who bought the last 3 classes I did. This is over the years that I've done this. So some people have come to me and said, yeah, I bought 10, 11, and 12 off you, and I can't wait for 13. And then about a month or 2 later, I get a message saying, I bought number 1 and 2 while I'm waiting for number 13. I couldn't believe what was in there. I had no idea 1 and 2 were chock full of all this information. I'm now watching the rest of them. I will catch up before you bring out number 13. For others, they cannot be swayed. They've just said, Uncle Bruce, you're a nice guy, and I like the fact you're trying to grow a beard, but you know what, buddy? I don't need you like you think I need you. And it's okay. It's all right. I'm just going to watch the classes I want. Give me number 6, number 13, number 15, and shut up. That's it. That's all I want. It's okay. It's all right. What works for you works for you. Okay. Who else is here? Jeff, good day. Tortuga is here. Who else has come by to say hi? Lisa is in the house and she rang the bells today. Thank you, Lisa. 15 minutes ago. John is here. Thank you, John. WC Saga is here. Price to Sell is here. RB86 is here. Yesterday, I got $10.20 on a Rocket Lab $35 cash secured put for Jan 27. So you put up $3,500 and you collected $1,020 in cash, and you're on the calendar from now till Jan 27 if you wish to be. And if Rocket Lab would like to go up in price at all, it's up 14 cents this morning. But if Rocket Lab wants to go to $45 a share in the next 3 months, which is nowhere near its highs, these contracts will be $10 out of the money. They won't be at $10 a piece on the open market. They might be $5 or $6, which means RB will be profiting $500 a contract, $550 a contract for everyone he wrote. And he can shut that down anytime he wants. He can buy this put back and take the money, or fold arms and wait longer. Totally up to you. Obviously, if the shares are at $34.99 or $35.01, if they're at $35.01, January 2027, these contracts are worthless, and RB will keep all $1,020, and will tell the world I made a great return on my money. 13 months, I had $3,500 committed for 13 months. I got $1,020. And I got to keep all of it. I have $4,520 now. No bank was offering me this kind of an interest rate. Thank you very much. I don't think RB will be waiting, though, all the way to the end. I suspect that will be going on. DH, good morning, all. I'm about to board a flight to Florida for a holiday. I'll keep track of the market while deep sea fishing. Nice job, DH. I love to hear these kinds of stories. Love it, love it, love it. The man is asking here, well, what do you think about September 26th expiry for 30 cash secured puts with the warrants pushing price up around that time? I mean, right now it's $11 a contract, not much volume there. I thought, well, again, I don't know what the strike price of these are, so I don't know what the returns are, but I don't see people having to wait that long to score. But that's just me. Anyway, there you go. Giddy up, everybody. Henry is here. Margin Call is here. Pickcomb is here. All kinds of comments. Lee Mortimer. Tim is here. Lori is here. Laura. Who else? Good morning, Uncle Bruce from Aaron. Don, Uncle Bruce, what do you say to people who said in April, what do you say to people who said in April that in the next 3 to 6 months, USA will see 15% inflation? Well, is it over? Is inflation been slayed? Is it gone? Are there threats of inflation still on the economy? I think there is. The one thing that's keeping inflation away from Americans, and it's an artificial thing at the moment, the strength of the U.S. dollar at the moment. But I do wonder, when will that party end? They keep talking about lower rates. They keep talking about, well, we're going to have lower interest rates, and lower interest rates are going to make everything great. And since every American is going to probably get $2,000 from the White House, that will keep the market going for another 6 months. Of course, the experts out there who kind of go, let's do the math here, to give everybody $2,000 in 2025 or 2026 is going to cost the U.S. Treasury, I don't know, $6 billion, $8 billion, whatever that number is. You can't have lower interest rates when you borrow that much more money on top of the deficits that aren't going away. So I don't know how that's going to work. And so You are correct. There is no 15% interest rate right now, or inflation rate right now. Congratulations. I hope this information has worked well for you and that you are now a multimillionaire because of it. Because if you've won handsomely because inflation did not go to 15%, great job. Thing is, I haven't had any viewers reach out to me and say, hey, you know what? You were completely wrong about the inflation factor. You completely were wrong. And I made $1 million betting against you. And I'm thinking, how? What trade did you do that would have made you this much money? I don't know what trade it would be. Did you have 10 million and made a wager on a index option and you made $1 million on 10 million and you now have 11 and you've made $1 million because of me? Okay. I don't have any viewers like that. Most of my viewers, if not all of my viewers, they kind of go, well, Uncle Bruce, it doesn't matter what inflation really is going to go to, although your concerns are noted. Those issues are still there. But you know what, Bruce? I write options like like you've been teaching me. And I'm doing rather nicely, thank you very much, with my option returns. And even if inflation were to go to 15% on an annualized basis, which is 1.25% a month, I make more than 1.25% a month on writing options. So if I make 3.75% a month writing options, I am earning 2.5% more than the cost of living going up, and so I win. So, okay. But it's good to know what the factors could be that could mount to inflation. But you know, Bruce, what really bugs me about you, some people say to me, is that you're not right on everything. I really hate that about you, Bruce. You never have a perfect 100% score on everything you've ever said or ever done. And I just can't forgive you for that. I just can't, because I and my friends are perfect. I and my investment strategies have been never wrong. It's been incredible. But you, sir, are a loser because you're just helping people make money in the market. And so how good is that? I mean, lessons, schmessons. Who cares, man? I'm living my life, baby. Whatever works. It's all right. JJ is asking a question. I'll be assigned BULL shares today. Should I write covered calls now or wait for a rally? Or should you sell the stock and write more cash secured puts? Another option, a question. Or should you sell the stock, use the value of this trade, and write credit spreads? Iron condors. Have you taken all my lessons? Do you know all of the option choices you have? Henry, Uncle Bruce, was the market, what was it? Market react to Epstein files or selling off? What do you think? No. Investors don't give a crap about the Epstein files. And they don't give a crap means zero. They love the story. All people love the story about Epstein. Oh, it's salacious and it's all of this and all of that. But for investments, nowhere on a list of any kind. Here we go. Lisa, I got a 22% profit on a Rocket Lab December 19 expiry contract, 44 covered call. I wrote a $44 covered call. Rocket Lab backed off, and I've earned a 22% return on that contract. Thank you very much. I say, well done, Lisa. Lisa can't retire on this trade. She did not make $5 million on this trade, but she added the little profit here to her account and said, thank you, sir. May I have another? And let's just keep that going. Lisa goes on to ask me, what do you think about Netflix after the split, now in the $100 range and more affordable for retail investors? And this is, one of those things. We're at 106 right now, 47 cents. The stock is at 44 times earnings. If it goes to 200, it's at 88 times earnings, and it's not a brand new company. It's a mature company. I'm kind of wondering if this is doable. $450 billion market cap. Look, I think Netflix is a great stock to write cash secured puts on. Out of the money, short term cash secured puts. Great trade. You want to do credit spreads? call and puts or even iron condors, can you go far enough out with a short time frame? Maybe that's your trade. You've done your homework. You're going to watch this closely. But yeah, it's split. Aaron, is it true that Citadel is being sued for market manipulation? Not sure if that's true or not. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't follow their minute-to-minute situation. Stock guy, Uncle Bruce, what is your opinion of SoFi price right now? The SoFi stock, a hell of a drop. You know, let's review that. Let's take a look at that. Because the shares of SoFi got all the way up to 32.73. And I think that was really November the 12th, which was 9 days ago. 9 calendar days ago. Last Wednesday? 32.73. Wow, right? I remember when I saw that and I went, holy crap. Now we're at 24.75. I was looking at the price earnings multiple of the company, and I noticed that this morning it seems to be pegged at 44.3 times earnings. PE multiple of 44.3. But I know something, and many of you know something also, and that is that in 40 days, as I mentioned earlier, it's the end of the year. And at that time, SoFi will begin to calculate how much money they made for the fourth quarter. And about 4 weeks after that, right around the end of January, SoFi will release their financials, probably on a Tuesday morning. You know how this works. Noto will go out there and tell everybody how we did for the year and all that kind of stuff. So it's possible that there might be a corporate development between now and the end of the year with SoFi, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But it's possible. But regardless, if you take a look at the earnings of SoFi from last year's fourth quarter, okay, and then look at the revenue coming in and the net profit generated and the growth of subscribers, their members, you'll quickly go, oh my God, yeah, this year's fourth quarter is going to annihilate last year's fourth quarter. And of course, the earnings per share, the PE multiple thingy, will be based now on the last 4 quarters of earnings. So we'll throw out the fourth quarter of last year and replace it with the fourth quarter of this year. So it'll be the fourth quarter, the third quarter, the second quarter, and the first quarter for 2025. That will be the PE multiple number. That's where it'll come from. And so if the company generates a $1 profit per share for the year and the stock's at $24, then that will be a 24-time PE multiple. Right now we're at 44. All right. So even though the multiple has gone from like the high 50s to the mid 40s, if they generate the kind of revenue that they've predicted they would, and analysts have said they're undercutting it, they're always sandbagging us. They always tell us this number, but the reality is always bigger. They always beat the street. If they beat the street by just a little, this stock isn't going to be at 44 times earnings at $24 a share. It might be at 32 times earnings. Now, the question is, should that be fair priced? Is that a fair price for SoFi going forward? 32 times earnings, it shouldn't trade higher than that. Or will the analysts out there go, wait a minute, hold it a second. From the third quarter to the fourth quarter, they grew their members by this much. They grew their revenues by that much. They made net profits of this much. The first quarter of 2025 and the 26, and the second quarter of 2026 coming up, these are going to be way, way higher than the first 2 quarters of 2025. In effect, the earnings per share are going to continue to grow higher. And so let's take some simple math. Let's use a $25 stock price, a $30 stock price, a $35 stock price, and just calculate potential earnings per share by these prices per share. And what would the PE multiple be going forward? And what I wonder about is if the analysts out there are saying, oh my God, SoFi is going to be trading at 15 times earnings if the stock is sitting at $25 a share, and there's no damn way this is going to trade at 15 times earnings, because the growth curve is continuing forward, just like with NVIDIA. The growth curve of revenue and net profits is expanding. It's not contracting. And so they could be at 55 to 65 to 70 times earnings. But there's another factor, that other one thing I like to talk about. My friend over here kind of mentions it too. There's just one more thing, okay? What if, just suppose, SoFi is added to the S&P 500 index in the first quarter of 2026. And the S&P board announces that SoFi shares will start trading on the S&P 500 at the end of March, April 1, May 1st. That's when SoFi is going to enter the 500, the S&P 500. Now what? If you follow a stock known as Palantir, a number of you have been following that stock. That stock has gone from a high of 207 to 155. That stock hit its high just a few weeks ago. There's Palantir. That's 207 there. That was the 4th of November. And it's now 154.54. Look at the PE multiple on Palantir. 352. I'm asking you whether SoFi will trade at 40 to 50 times earnings with a better growth curve than Palantir has. Because, see, Palantir has one little problem. Another one of these, one little thing, one more thing. This thing here. Palantir has a bunch of these one more things to worry about. What is that? Does anyone put two and two together to figure this out? Palantir is the administration's darling stock. They're a darling stock. They're a darling stock of the administration disciples, of all of their followers. Palantir can do no wrong. They have U.S. military contracts all over the place. They can do no wrong, except for one thing. You may have noticed about 2 weeks ago, there was an election night in America that kind of took the temperature of certain regions of the country regarding how things are going, and it went rather decidedly to the one side of the equation. I'm wondering about a year from now, November 26th, starting in about May, June, everything shuts down in May and June. Did you know that? Are you familiar with that? Next May, June of next year, all politicians have one thing on their mind: getting reelected, holding on to their seats, getting a seat from someone who took it away from them the last time. We've got all hell breaking loose next spring and summer. And then next fall, the midterm elections, which could mean one thing. Could mean one thing. That one thing is, we may find that the Senate of the United States doesn't change hands. Republicans control the Senate. But the House could change hands to the Democrats. You now have a split government. You got a Republican in the White House, Republicans in the Senate hanging on, and Democrats in the House. Guess how many bills are going to be passed through the U.S. Congress that are going to benefit the right-wing agenda? Zero. Can you do the math? It's called none. And so now Palantir runs into issues. Budgets that were supposed to come together to give Palantir all kinds of new military contracts and all kinds of other military contracts for all kinds of other friends of the administration may all be held up. Slow grind. Why? Because in 2 years, guess what we have? A presidential election. And do we have a bunch of impeachment hearings during the third and fourth year? everything shuts down. You thought the shutdown 42 days or whatever that was severe. You ain't seen nothing yet. I don't know. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. Now, if you're an option writer, I have good news for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're an option writer. You're just going to go with the flow. You're going to go, the Congress and the Senate can't get along. The U.S. government is all screwed up. Okay. I will write cash secured puts. I'll write covered calls. I'll write poor man covered calls. I'll write credit spreads. That's what you're going to decide to do because you're managing your money. You're not managing the government. You're not managing the Defense Department. You don't manage the corporate suite of every company. You're going to do what you're going to do. And so this situation right here could be the calling card that you've been waiting for. You just don't recognize that you're looking at it right now. You don't recognize the fact that you're looking at SoFi right now at the price of $24.48 a share. I think that's where we're at right now, $24.48. And it hasn't occurred to you that this could be the low of the year. We might be within 50 cents to $1 a share of the low of all time. We may find that a year from now we're at 34.40, 35.40, and 2 years from now we're at 55.65. And you'll go, you remember when Bruce had that beard and he was suffering from that cold, and somebody asked him about SoFi at these prices? Remember what he said? So theoretically, you want to write some cash secured puts on SoFi right now, all the way to January 27, January 28. You want to go that far out? You want to write $25 January 28 expiry SoFi contracts. How about doing that? Puts. How about that? What are they going for? Let me take a look. You got me curious now. I'm all pumped up. January 2028. There they are. Oh my God, they go all the way to Jan 28. Isn't that amazing? Well, let's take a look here. January 2028. If you were to write $25 contracts, which are right now in the money by what, 50 cents, 40 cents, you'd get between $8.80 and $9.35. So you put up $2,500 and collect about $900. That's at 36%. If you wrote 30s, they're in the money, 540, 550. You'd get about, so the last trade was 1250, 1110 to 1325. That's quite a wide spread, but wow. If you could collect $12, $13 on a $30 trade, wow, that's pretty healthy. Look, you want to write 20s, they're out of the money. 20s, you'll still get 610 according to the last trade, 510, 630. That is 30% on your money. Put up $2,000 and collect $600. Put up $2,000 and collect $600. Put up $20,000 and collect $6,000. Hello, that's 30% return on your money. Put up $100,000 and collect $30,000 for Jan 28. Saying to the world, I'll buy the stock at $20. I'm willing to pay $20 for SoFi. The money's in the account, plus the premium that I just got, $600 a share, $6 a share. I'm willing to pay, in theory, $14 a share until Jan 28 for SoFi. Bring it on. Anytime you want me to make that deal, you sell me the stock anytime you want. I would be delighted to pay $14 a share for SoFi, writing a cash secured put. I took Uncle Bruce's lessons. I figured out my risk reward ratio. I figured out what kind of percentage I'm making here. And I'm thinking, hey, I like the odds of being on the hook for $14 a share on this stock. Yes, I'm really there. Stock Jockey agrees this isn't warranted. I'm with you. Totally with you on that. Yeah, Uncle Bruce, says Corinne. Joel, I'm hurting on GameStop, starting to feel like there's no bottom. Well, the bottom has already happened. I really believe it. I think we're through it. But, 1 day, 1 minute, 1 hour, it is the market. But the undeniable fact is SoFi comes out with their financials between now and December the 10th. Undeniable. No getting around it. So in 3 weeks, they have to release their financials. They have to. And they're good. They're sitting on $9 billion in cash, making $90 million in interest every 90 days. They're making $1 million a day in interest on the money they're sitting on. Forget what Bitcoin is doing; it doesn't matter. The stores are doing just fine. I like this game. Hey, I started buying Palantir at 6. I sold it. I'm playing puts 50-70. Giddy up. I like this video, Bruce. Cindy, I have put spreads on Palantir that are in the money. How do you feel about GameStop? Just mentioned it. DH, stink bid, cash secured puts. $30 on SoFi for Jan 27 for $10.99. Just saying. Maybe it's a stake offer. Maybe you're trying to sell them on a stake offer. It's okay. There's going to be another shutdown in January, Bruce says, between here and there. Let's remove this convicted felon. DH, hey, bid-ask spread is now 8-12 on those now. Wow. Yeah, some of them don't trade very well right now, so, you got to be patient. Can you explain a bit more in detail how it doesn't matter, especially if you write cash secured puts and are assigned? Simple. You're made to buy SoFi. You wrote $30 puts. Let's just use an extreme example. You wrote $30 puts 3 months ago. They gave you $7, and you get assigned. So you just bought SoFi for $30 a share. Well, wait a minute. You got to take the $7 off the top because they gave you $7 a share to do the contract, right? You just paid $23 for the stock. What's it trading at? SoFi, $24.31. So you got the stock right now. What do you do? What do you sell them? Sell them at $24.31. You just made a $1.30 profit. You paid $23 for them with that option. Sell them for $24.30. Now what do? Why don't you write some $30 puts for Jan 26, Jan 27, Jan 28? Here we go again. Dare them. I dare you to make me buy it again. I double dare you. Let's do it again. I got the money in my account, pal. I just sold the shares off here. I got my premium from before. I'm happy to write new contracts. If I can get $7 for a 30, I'm paying $23 for this stuff. Bring it on. Bring it on. I can get 8 for it, 9 for it. Thank you very much. It doesn't matter because it's a long-term game. Theoretically, you want to be a short-term trader, you can be a short-term trader on SoFi. Of course you can. You can write a cash secured put that dies next Friday or in the middle of December or January 26th on the 16th. You can play that short-term. You'll get much less premiums, but much less time. You can do it anytime you want. From a cash position, you are the boss. Cash is king, baby. It's so simple. Thank you all so much for being here today. I hope you're appreciating the show. I appreciate your comments this morning. I'm looking for thumbs up meters now. How are we doing on the thumbs up meter? Are you guys able to help me out here? 32 on the one channel. And I've got people answering the poll question. 51 results have come through now. 59% of you say I make most of my money writing cash secured puts. 31% say covered calls. On my other channel, which I think is the vertical channel, this one right here, on the vertical, it looks like there are thumbs ups coming in here. Let me just double check now. Thank you again. The total number of thumbs ups on the vertical format channel, 53. Thank you for 53 thumbs up. And then 111 of you have answered the poll question. 45% of you say, I make most of my money, Bruce, writing cash secured puts. 38% say, covered calls, man. I'm sitting on stock and I write covered calls. And the stock goes down, I buy the calls back, and then I write lower strike calls. And the stock goes down, and I buy them back again and score some more money, and I write even lower priced or further out in time. This game, I like this game, Uncle Bruce. I never thought it would be so damn simple. I had no idea that I could use this angle of the stock market and make myself a pile of money. I had no idea that this was possible until I found you. No one in my family, no one at my local banker, my mortgage broker never told me about this, my investment advisor, the folks at the ETF company or whatever. I don't, CNBC. On CNBC, they don't talk about writing options. They only talk about gambling on options. Do you ever see the Nigerian brothers? Do you see them telling you how to write options? They're gamblers. They're on the floor. They have their conventions in Las Vegas. Does that resonate with any of you out there? They have a bunch of their conventions every year. They get this meet and greet get together thing. They charge you a bunch of money to meet them in person, get a free book, listen to their spiel in Vegas. I am speechless. I am speechless. I do the best I can. Anyway, there it is. Travis, sounds like I need to write longer cash secured puts and collect much larger premiums. Henry, I just wrote NVIDIA cash secured put 155 for 350 that expires on the 26th of December. So it dies in about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I wrote a 155 cash secured put. So where are we at right now on NVIDIA? Or where are we at? Let me get this up. 177 a share right now. Well, there you go. So he's willing to take the stock at 155. There you go. Thank you. It's an okay return, $350, but it's a $15,500 commitment. So you're paying $150 if assigned, right? And the stock is 177.27 at the moment, with a high of that 212 range. So yeah, that's a pretty low price. I'm just looking back. When was the last time the stock was $155? When was it around that? I'm going to guess back in September, it was 167. Here we are, 155 range. June 24th was the last time it was in that neighborhood. So yeah, it would have to drop another $23, $22 a share from here, after already dropping from 212. So the total drop of 212 to 155, $67. That's a lot of money. $57. That's a lot of money. There you go. There you go. Not a bad idea. Between here and there, yep. I thought about writing for the short term and rolling. Didn't want to even risk paying a premium. 2 weeks ago, I saw the cracks. Long puts on Qs and Palantir. Jan 27 feels real good. What platform do you recommend? I can't recommend a platform because I don't know where you are, and I don't study platforms as a specialty. It's not my deal. You've got to become part of the Discord group. Send me a private email. Order up some classes and tell me what classes you want. And then add into that message, hey, can I join the Discord group? And I'll tell you how to do it. And you can talk to those guys. Drew, I wish I had some cash deployed during this bear status, but all my liquid is tied up in GameStop and LPSN. Okay. Joel, what platform do you recommend? I'm currently utilizing Webull. Can't tell you. Alex, great stuff, man. I've been passively watching and learning for the past year. Well, when you feel it's right, any of you out there, when you feel that it's time to get serious and really make some money on this, I'm going to study this now like I'm going to enter college. I'm an adult now. I'm not a kid anymore. I remember when I was 18, 19, I just wanted to get drunk and high on weekends and party with the sorority girls and all that. I just wanted to party it up. But I've gone through that phase. I might be married. I might not. I might have kids. I might not. I might be divorced. I'm not. It doesn't matter. You're older now. And now there's a guy looking at you going, hey, moron. This 70-year-old fart is telling you it's time to get serious about your future. And you didn't listen to your dad. You didn't listen to your mom. Didn't listen to your brothers and sisters who knew everything. You didn't like them. But then your old buddy, Uncle Bruce, is saying, well, maybe it's your time. But you know what the good news is about this? You don't have to tell anybody that you're learning how to write stock options. You can keep this to yourself. And I recommend you do, because you're only going to set yourself up with grief and teasing and snide comments and, oh, he thinks he's such a hot shot. He's going to be an option writer now. It might be time to take 1 year and say to yourself, in this 1 year between now and December of 2026, I'm going to take all 19 of this guy's lessons. And if he brings out number 20 and number 21, I'll watch them too. But I'm going to learn all about option writing. And I know that as I take these classes one after the other, I'm going to know more about option writing than anyone I know, anyone I've ever met, because I just can't seem to find an option writer in my hometown. There's no one at work that writes options. I've met people who have Robinhood accounts and Webull accounts and Fidelity, whatever those firms are. And I've seen people play these little, it looks like they're playing a video game with the fireworks going off and all that. I even watched the movie Dumb Money, and I saw on that movie people using Robinhood and seeing the fireworks going off when they did a trade. I've seen this, but they don't know what they're doing. The people who are doing that, we're doing that. And at my office or at my golf club or in my family, in my circle of contact, most of them have no clue what option writing actually is, and they don't do it. And so what are they doing? They're looking for the next win. They were all looking for a big win on NVIDIA, and they didn't get it. It didn't go up high enough, long enough, fast enough. They were looking for a big dump on NVIDIA. They thought it would go to $120 a share. It didn't happen. I know people who are into NVIDIA contracts right now. They're into NVIDIA call options and put options, and they're down, even though they're right. Some folks bet the farm that the stock would go down, and it has, but they haven't made any money. Why? Because the amount of money they paid for the contracts that they're sitting on were so damn expensive, out of the money with an unbelievable premium on them, that even with the stock where it is, it hasn't dropped enough for these folks to be able to score on their contract. And they die today, Friday, or next month. And these folks probably will lose money on these trades. There's millions of them out there. Who are the winners on the option writing game, on the options game for NVIDIA? The institutional investors that wrote them, the hedge funds that wrote options, the ETFs, the mutual funds, the pension funds, the large investors, and viewers of this channel who said, you know what, Bruce, I really don't care if they make money or not. I'm going to wait until after they release the results, because I don't want to speculate like everyone else. I want to take a sure bet. So why don't I wait for the company to release their financials, watch the reaction of the stock for a day or two, not an hour or two, and then I'll write my contracts from there. And so today there are viewers of this channel writing option contracts on NVIDIA without owning any shares. They're putting in $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. I have viewers here who make all kinds of money in the option market, but they don't ever put more than $5,000 in any one trade. They got 8 trades going at the same time, but they don't put $5,000 or more into any one of them. And they're active, and they're busy, and they're watching all kinds of trends, and they're loving it. And they're just going, I win almost every damn time I do this, because following this old man with his classes, I write options that are out of the money, that are ridiculously overpriced, that have very short amount of time to deliver a return. And I'm a casino. I've decided that Uncle Bruce is right. I'm going to be the racetrack. I'm going to be the casino. And I'm going to take the bets from the gamblers. And I'm going to sit on their money. Just like the roulette wheel, you got to put the chips on the table. All your money's on the table. You can't get it back. That marble is spinning. And at the end of the spin, guess what happens? 95% of those chips, 98% of those chips get raked in by the house. And what happens next? A couple of guys get a win. Most people don't get any money back, and they start pulling out dollar bills to buy more chips. And here we go. And you have to be the house. You've got to be the casino. Thank you all so much. White Feather, Joel, I use Tasty Trade. They are rated very high for option trading. Rodents, all right, I wish you all a relaxed weekend. Hope to catch up with all you somewhere next week. Rodent, you have a good one, buddy. You take care. Stock Guy, anyone that did $30, $29, etc., cash secured puts on SoFi got creamed and are getting creamed. I would say be patient and wait for the stock to recover. You did get premium. You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. You wrote $29, $30 cash secured puts on SoFi, and it's now sitting at 24 something. It doesn't matter. Did you write for this Friday expiry? No, you did not. You wrote for Jan 26, Jan 27 expiry. You're going to do just fine. Anyway, that's just the way it is. Lisa, 31% profit realized on Rocket Lab. 16th January, $47 covered calls. That was easy. There you go. Nicely done. Auntie Jen, how are you?
That was easy.
She just hit the easy button. Auntie Jen just hit that was easy. How's it going?
Well, the cold is back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Bringing pink eye to both eyes this time. Yeah, it's a delight. It's a delight.
We are suffering. We will survive. Trust
will.
me. We will survive. We'll get through the weekend. We're going to relax.
This isn't going to be for the rest of our lives.
No.
This is
We're going to be A-okay.
we will.
You kids out there,
Yeah.
this might be the perfect weekend to pick up some of these classes that you've been sitting on or wondering about, to start watching them. And all this week through Thanksgiving might be the perfect time.
You'll be so
Where
smart when you go for Thanksgiving.
A whole bunch of your relatives went to the in-laws and they went to grandma and grandpa's, and you stayed behind. Why? Because you wanted to be alone. Maybe you and your wife wanted to be alone. I don't know. And you picked up 5, 6, 8 classes on sale, and you're going to watch all of them over a 2-week time frame.
What else would a woman and her husband want to do when they're all alone for the weekend?
Well, that's true. You don't have to get all dressed up in fancy lingerie to watch my classes. So, watch a class, have some fun. Watch another class.
For those who can't see it, we have a classic Chinook arch this morning.
Yeah.
Just classic.
Here in Calgary, it's
a
overcast.
dome of cloud.
Overcast over top of us. But to the west,
But it's quite high.
about
clouds are
20,
high.
30 miles to the west of us, there's a break. All the clouds just stop. There's like a line of clouds that are over us. But to the mountains, there are no clouds. You can see the mountains as clear as a bell.
Yeah.
That's a Chinook arch.
That's a Chinook arch.
That means that warm Pacific air has been
Coming
pushing
in.
over the mountains and has been pushing the cold air, that's usually lower, off, and it's just 20 miles away from us. So we're not in Arctic horrific conditions. It's cool, but it's not brutal.
No, it's not true.
But we've got actually some warmer weather out there. The high today is going to be 45 degrees here. Quite good for this time
And
of year.
it's November the 21st.
Yeah.
I know. I remember when I thought that our daughter was going to die
Yes.
because she wasn't used to the cold weather again.
Yes.
And it was over minus 40.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, Mom, I have to go to school because I have a test today. And I thought, you're going to die. They're going to find a little frozen ice.
That was then in 2000 and about 16, 17.
Well, it's 2006.
6, okay, even earlier.
Yeah, November.
The good news
brutal.
is she's alive. Good news is she's rather
She
successful,
survived.
and she's doing just fine. So we're very proud of her. Thank you. What else going on? The germs out and about. I am 2 weeks. I am 2 weeks. The start of mine. Pink eye last Saturday, but it's gone. Had to get antibiotics for 5 days to feel okay today.
Yeah.
Dude, ass face has sent us a $5 super sticker. Thank you
for
very
pink
much.
eye.
We bought a hot dog yesterday at Costco,
Yes, we did.
and that paid for the hot dog. Didn't pay for the
Yes, we
fries
did.
because we bought fries too.
But because we're thinking of our bodies.
That's right. We didn't want to overdo it, so we didn't do
We
poutine.
didn't do poutine.
We just did fries. Ate about a quarter of them,
Yeah.
and each
But
had
you
a hot
get
dog.
this huge basket. Of
Thank you,
fries.
Dude Face, for letting us buy a hot dog at Costco
That's
yesterday.
great.
We did get a shot yesterday in our arms for this shingles thing. You have to get 2 shots
This is our second one.
every couple months. There's a gap, and then you get the second one. So we got our second one yesterday. Our arms are killing us. Very sore, as they were telling us. Hey,
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
And
I
it
wonder
was,
why. It's like someone poked a sharp metal object into your arm.
Was it 185 each?
It's $350 total. Yeah.
We had to drop
$350
$350 yesterday to be hit with a needle.
And they really, really, really encourage you once you hit 65, because it's 1 in 3 gets shingles. And if you've ever had shingles, which I have had, you do not want them.
Yeah, I have not. Zach says, "Good morning, Dr. Bruce and Auntie Jen. So glad to see you today. Mandu number 5. Good morning, Auntie Jen. I hope you get
Amen.
better soon. Richard
Me
Carlin. Hello,
too.
Auntie Jen.
Hey, Richie.
Juan, rolling some of these GameStop puts has been slow. Maybe the bottom is here. Neat, says Juan. Dude, ass face has decided. Here's another $5 donation.
Oh.
That covers your fries.
Oh.
So you got your 2 hot dogs, and now your fries are covered.
And the drink comes with the hot dog.
The drink
of
comes with
course.
the hot dog. So you're good to go, but you're on your own
Oh,
with
and
those
man,
shots.
our Costco's are decked out for Christmas.
Oh, they're decked out with
my
Christmas
God.
decorations. Oh my God, yes they are.
Yes.
And there's pumpkin pie on the big display.
Till Christmas.
Yes.
Ours is here till Christmas.
Loving the pumpkin pie. Yeah, there you go. Between here and there, yeah, I won't put more than $2,000 into any one position play, option play. Minimal stress, maximum reward on my option. What do you think about cash secured puts or long puts on Hood? I'm not a fan of Hood. I'm just not a fan of Hood. I know they're getting into the proposition bet game, as are other brokers. But hey, it doesn't matter if you love the whole philosophy of those guys. Then write conservative option contracts on Hood and make money. I mean, take the dough.
Take the money.
Oh,
I'm going to take my computer. And
someone decided to not be outdone with
with
the dude. Well, actually, dude ass face is competing with dude ass face now. $20 donation now is coming. You got to feed your auntie and uncle. Thanks for all the trade advice. Been piling cash the old-fashioned way, Alberto style. Oh,
thank you. That's good, Alberto.
That is good stuff. Between here and there, thank you. Thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all. Again, those of you picking up classes, making super chats, doing donations on PayPal, we love you. We appreciate it. We're back home now, and we're slowly, getting better. And
are we getting better?
Well, you sound a lot better than you did in Rome. And a whole lot better than you were in Vienna.
Oh yeah. Like there, I was coughing up a lung.
Yeah.
Here, I just cough for fun.
She doesn't, she's still cynical, but she is. She's better. Is she recovered? No.
No.
Is she her usual happy self?
No.
She's never her usual happy self. There is no happy self.
I'm a very happy person.
Only when she's with her daughter. Then she's happy because her daughter can do no wrong. You know this. You all know. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you all. Jam Ham is saying, neat, Tawanda. Good morning, Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen from Weber Day. Good morning, all. Thank you all for the hellos, the shout outs. It's Friday, kids.
It's Friday. I'm going to go sit down.
Get
Have
some
a
rest.
lovely weekend.
Jen's getting some rest. I'm
Start
about to shut this
your
down.
pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving.
There you go. I hope that some of you are going traveling in the next week or two on the dime of the gamblers. That would be great. Thank you all, and congratulations, all of you who have taken the time to not be intimidated by this stock market and to say, screw you, son of a bitches. I'm going to take his classes, and I'm going to take my time. I'm doing option trades in practice accounts. And by the time I start trading my own options, when I started trading my own options, I knew what to expect. Uncle Bruce, you've changed my life completely. I couldn't be more thrilled. Believe me, a stock guy, a 2401 SoFi, wow, 2430 right now. I'm showing it. Travis, so I wrote $27 cash secured puts on GameStop. No price in the mid 20s. Premiums on the 27 CSC's options, not very good. You recommend selling longer call options. Well, again, I don't know how long you went out in this, but you could go out to 2026 Jan, 2027 January and bring more premiums in, maybe 25s, 20s. Check it out. Murray, 007 Hybers. We had our second shingles shot too. Several friends had shingles and will likely be dealing with resulting symptoms for the rest of their lives. They are all hugely regretting not having the shot. Stock guy touching the 2397 was incredible, shaking out the weak hands. Travis, we're assigned $27 shares, laughing out loud. Travis, love your channel. There you go. Yeah, not to worry. Like I said, you got assigned with a premium on it. Sell them and write some more. Write 25 cash secured puts. Write 24s, 23s. Go to Jan 27. June 26, June 27, as far as you want. The first 10 days of December, SoFi will release their financials. I think they'll be good. Stock guy, SoFi, 23.97. I got 23.86. I can beat that price. Even a better sale. The Dow is at the moment still holding a 245 gain or 204 gain. NASDAQ down 108. Qs are down $3. I closed out my $24 put today early, took the cash and relaxed. SoFi at 23.88. There you go. Totally your call. You're right when they're low, and you take the biggest premium you can get your hands on, and put in stink offers for Jan 27 or whatever. Make them 25s. Can you get $6 premium for a 25? Can you get 7 for Jan 27? That means you're offering to buy SoFi at $18. Can you handle an $18 buy price? I don't know, whatever. The whole market's shaking off all the weakness. There you go. There you go. That's the story. It is what it is. Let's take a look at some of the big boys here. Microsoft down 620. Apple's up 365. We've got NVIDIA holding a 660 loss at the moment. NVIDIA, let me double check that. Yeah, 174.04. Google up 522. Tesla down 893. It's at 386. Amazon down 39 cents and Meta down 442. So is this a disaster market? No. Are these massive percentage losses? No, not at all. Can the market do a whipsaw recovery this afternoon before the bell and then have a 500 point to a 1,000 point rally first thing Monday morning? And all of these stocks be up 1 or 2 or 3% from here? Yeah, they could do that because over the weekend, everyone's going to be talking. Gee, have we hit the low? Is this a good place to get in? If I want to buy now for a 1-year hold, is this a good place to make this move? Even if it goes a little lower, this is a great place. There's all that. That's what makes the market so great. That's what makes it so great. The heart is what makes it great, kids. Welcome to the party, pal. GameStop is up 19 cents a share. It's the only green stock I'm looking at. SoFi down 135, 23.56. Bargoon City over there. Yep. I'm just a guy. Welcome to the Trump economy. A big dump. There you go. Well, it's just, I find it hilarious. Absolutely hilarious that we, all of us, we, normal people, as normal as we are, we're all supposed to accept without any question that it is good for us that we're not getting any lies from the Labor Department and from the various agencies out there about how it's going. We're supposedly being well looked after by the leader to understand. You don't have to worry about the unemployment rate. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about the inflation rate. Don't pay attention to that. You don't need to pay attention to all kinds of economic indicators. You don't need to worry about that. I think Trump. I think Turkey did that starting about 5 years ago. China has been doing it now for 3-4 years. Other dictators do this. Other dictator-type run countries. You don't trust the numbers they release. They're all bullshit. It's all crap. And yet, if you question the numbers that come out, you're a traitor to your country. Isn't that amazing? All of a sudden, every American that questions authority is a traitor to their country. How dare you question the emperor? You traitor, you. We should charge you with sedition and have you knocked out. Isn't that amazing? Is that just like, this is new. I hadn't heard this before. This is this is kind of a first time for me. I haven't lived through this before. 23.69 on SoFi, down 122. I do remember back when George Bush Jr. was in the White House and Dick Cheney was the president of the United States. George was, in the White House, but Dick Cheney was running things. And I remember when the U.S. Administration was touting the line that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, that they're just drowning in weapons of mass destruction, ready to unleash all of their destructive weapons on the region of the Mideast. And we have to react as good guys to go in there and clean it up. And week after week would go by where success after success would be reported by the Pentagon. Oh, yeah, we just overran this brigade here. We just took out a bunch of Saddam's guys there. We just took over this town over here. Reporters are going, did you find any weapons of mass destruction? We'll get back to you on that. You don't need to know this right now. We're making tremendous gains here. Month after month and quarter after quarter and after a year, there were no weapons of mass destruction because he hit them. Oh, he hit them real good, and we're going to find them. Oh, we'll find them. It's only a matter of time. We'll find them. And they were never discovered. Never discovered. And yet anyone who dared ask, do you think you might be wrong on the weapons of mass destruction thing you're talking about? You are a traitor to this country. You're a traitor. And there were people who were into all kinds of legal issues, including country groups, performers, comedians, and others. Don't even make fun of this stuff, because that means you're a true supporter of our enemies. Yeah, but did you find the weapons of mass destruction? No, we never did. But we did the right thing. Better to be safe than sorry. Yeah, sure. Well, like I say, now we're here. We are. New day, new game, new world, same old message. You don't need to worry about that. Let those of us in power be the ones who decide for you what's best for you. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. 2370 on SoFi. I'm just a guy. Thank you, everybody. How's it going? Yeah, we're living in weird times, Bruce. I'm younger and seeing a lot of stuff for the first time. Very eye-opening. I remember in the 60s, before I was old enough to be a voter, I was 15, 16 in 1970, 71. And I had been watching from age 11 and 12 all of the protests against the Vietnam War, because we were told in 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, the communists are taking over the world. Our way of life is at risk. And so we have to send, America would say, we have to send 500,000 young men and women to Vietnam with all the bullets we got and all the artillery, guns and shells and jeeps and helicopters. We got to get over there and really take out these commies, because they're threatening our way of life. And any student that dares to question the administration and its tactics is a traitor to our country. And they don't deserve to be hired when they graduate. They should be put on blacklists, and they should be investigated. And there were clandestine operations going on behind the scenes. And it didn't matter who was the president of the country. It didn't matter if it was Johnson or if it was Nixon or Ford. There were all kinds of shenanigans going on for over a decade. And then there were students assassinated on campus in Penn State. I was 18, 19, 18, maybe 16 when I saw that. Unarmed students who were shot dead on campus by untrained reservists who were given the order by someone who never was accountable. They have the bullets that killed the kids. They can do a forensics on which rifle this came from. Never did it. It's odd, isn't it? Isn't it amazing they didn't do the Kennedy assassination? Oh, they did forensics and all kinds of stuff, but not for these radical students, the radicals. Yeah, those radicals are now in their 70s. Mid-70s. The good news about the establishment, if you are a fan of the administration, and always will be. You only have to do one thing. Just wait long enough for all the protesters to die of old age. And your children and your grandchildren will take up the cause that you had that convinced the world that these are radicals and should be dealt with appropriately. Because there's always another generation of radicals from both sides of the argument. Here we go. There are people standing up to ICE today, and there are those who want to join ICE today. Has anything changed? Just, just more weaponry. That's all it is. It's just a thing. Do you want to make money in the market or not? There's the question you have to ask yourself. Because are you going to be given a retirement that is comfortable by your employer? Are you going to be given a retirement from your government that will get you to survive? Your children's retirement? Healthcare? You might want to, kind of focus on yourself for a while. Sorry to say, build up some equity and build up some value. Can I tell you? I think the same thing's happening now. If you question why we go to war for Israel in the Middle East, yeah. Well, there you go. It's a different cause. It's a different time, but it's a different thing, and it doesn't matter who the leaders are. It doesn't matter what party's in power. It doesn't matter what the markets are doing. It doesn't matter inflation. It doesn't matter. Are there solutions? Have solutions been done that work? You ask yourself that. But in the meantime, make money, kids. That's one thing you can certainly count on, is making some dough. Yep, I graduated recently, says between here and there. I had to reteach myself history. My generation is honestly split down the middle by gender. Men favor this administration. Nothing changed in history. There you go. Hey, good old boys, what can I say? Anyway, thank you for joining me. I don't want to leave you on a downer, but get richer, please. Get richer and learn how to write options. And take care of your household and your kids and your family, parents, grandparents, friends, coworkers. Become a better person and become a better trader. And if you have any questions on the classes, you let me know. They're available on sale, 25% off. Invest in yourself. Now is the time. I don't know when else to tell you is the time. I just don't know. Will do, says between here and there. Thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for joining me and answering my poll question of the day. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. We have a total of about 200 responders now for the poll questions. Thank you for this. Thank you also for the thumbs ups all morning. Thank you again. It is so important that you do this. If you could find the thumbs up button, please help me out and let YouTube know this channel is relevant, please. Support this guy. He works his butt off. Thank you all. We do the best we can with what we have, and we'll keep following this market. SoFi's back over 24.16 on SoFi. So a little bounce back has happened yet again. And thanks again, everyone, for your excellent support. Oliver, hi, Bruce, started selling options a month ago. Thanks to you. Should have done this years ago. I love you, sir. Started writing options a month ago. Rock and roll, buddy. I get this comment a lot. I have received thousands of these, thousands, many of them privately too. I love it, guys. Stock guy, thanks for the live, Uncle Bruce. All right, guys, get richer. This is Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen telling you to have a great weekend, suggesting that you do. And we'll see if we can get together with you next week, okay? We'll see if we can get better. In the meantime, we're going to say bye.